VideoScribe is quite the beast of a program. The way the canvas and camera works is very different from your average video creation software. To help you acclimate into this new system, here are 5 essential tips that you should know or follow when working in VideoScribe. Number 1. Add all of your images and text before you start adjusting things. It's important that you get everything that you plan on having on the canvas as early as possible. Once you start editing camera positions and draw times, if you decide to add another text or image later, you're going to have to readjust the cameras for all of the objects. It's also just generally good to know what's going to be included in the frame so you can prep images all at once and not have to constantly go back and forth between programs. The workflow that I teach is this. Add all of your images and text and position them, then set their camera positions, and then set their draw times. You want to set the camera position before draw times because of the weird zoom in that VideoScribe adds to each element whenever you add it to the canvas. This is how I create most of my videos, and I think it's a good habit to get into early on. Number 2. Record your voiceovers before you start working on the video, and don't record it in VideoScribe. Unless you're really crunched for time and you've already finished the video, I think it's almost always better to create your video based on the voiceover compared to creating the video and then recording the voiceover for it. You'll be able to set a comfortable, steady pace, you can edit out mistakes and not have to worry about getting a perfect take, and you won't have to edit the scribe and retime things if a section ends too quickly or drags on too long. Also, you should record your voiceover in a dedicated audio editing program like Audacity, which is free for Macs, Windows, and Linux. This will give you options that recording directly in VideoScribe can't do, like removing background noise, adding silences, and cutting out breaths and mistakes. It's another program to learn, but in the long run, it will definitely be worth it and your videos will sound so much more professional. It's also worth mentioning that you can't save your voiceover file that you record in VideoScribe as an MP3 file without jumping through a couple of hoops. It's just not worth it, just don't do it. Number 3. Understand the difference between a vector image and a bitmap image. VideoScribe, more than most video creation programs, utilizes vector images in ways that other programs just can't. So to really understand VideoScribe, you have to know your different options when working with a vector image versus when working with a bitmap image. Basically, a vector image is a set of shapes and paths that ultimately form your image. Because the data for each line and shape is built into the SVG file, VideoScribe is able to use that data to create the drawing effect. There are many image packs that contain SVG files created specifically for VideoScribe, so that you can easily maintain the illusion of a hand actually drawing each image. Bitmap images are JPEGs or PNG files like pictures you've taken on your phone or camera. They're static images that don't have shape or line data that VideoScribe can use. Thus, VideoScribe analyzes the image and tries to figure out where the lines should be. Of course, the results vary greatly image to image. When I use a bitmap image like a picture of a person, I use one of the rub-on effects or the move effect because of how inaccurate the drawing effect tends to be. Vary your effects to keep your video interesting enough to keep watching. Number 4. Learn how to use custom vector images. The images in the VideoScribe library are used by thousands of people, which means they're used in tens of thousands of videos. By using images not readily available, like public domain graphics or images from stock photography or vector websites, your video has already become more interesting to a lot of people. It takes literally minutes to convert a regular vector file into a VideoScribe-ready vector file. Here's what the drawing effect looked like when I first downloaded it. The final result? It's such a simple technique that can be done in Adobe Illustrator or the free program called Inkscape. Still, not enough people who have VideoScribe use the technique, which is unfortunate. I think it opens up so many possibilities that there's no reason not to at least learn how it's done, especially when you have tutorials outlining exactly how to do it right here. Number 5. Choose a different default hand. Some of the design choices in VideoScribe drive me insane. One such choice is that the default hand, the one that is automatically used when you create any new project, doesn't have its own set of graphics like the hand with an eraser, pen, or pencil. So if you want to use the scribble out or eraser effect, it would have to be with a different hand. What does that imply? That one person was drawing while another person was a dedicated eraser? So ridiculous. In VideoScribe version 2.1, they've greatly expanded the number of hands that you can use, each with its own folder of markers, pencils, and erasers. So going back to the main point, choose one of these hands from the beginning of your project so you know which hand to switch to when you do a different effect. So those are my essential VideoScribe tips. There are a bunch of others like exporting to a PNG sequence, but these I felt could benefit the most people. There are tons of tips scattered throughout the tutorial videos, so check those out if you haven't already. VideoScribe is an incredible tool that can be as simple or as complicated as you want it to be. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon. This is Luke signing off. Thanks for watching.